All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about something fascinating, how you can use ancient vibrational science, we're talking mantras, to solve some very modern problems. You know, things like improving your focus, your finances, or just breaking through those times when you feel completely and utterly stuck. I mean, does this feel at all familiar? Maybe it's a roadblock in your career, a financial problem that just will not go away, or even just that low-level anxiety about what's next. We all face these obstacles. But what if I told you there was a timeless technology designed specifically to clear them out of the way?
You see, in the Vedic tradition, the very first step to clearing any path is to tap into the energy of Ganesha. He's known as Vighnaharta, which literally means the remover of obstacles. Now, try to think of him not just as a deity, but as this powerful archetypal force for new beginnings and for just bulldozing through challenges.
So to really get how this works, we need to look at the tools we're going to use. And the first one is understanding the symbolism of Ganesha himself, because every single part of his form is actually a deep lesson in consciousness.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting, because the symbolism is so practical. That elephant head, it represents wisdom. The big belly isn't about overeating, it's about having the emotional strength to digest everything life throws at you, the good, the bad, all of it. And his ride, the little mouse, that represents our ego. It's powerful for sure, but it needs to be guided, not just left to run wild.
So the second tool is the mantra itself. And this is not just a prayer. A Sanskrit mantra is more like a vibrational code. Think of it as a specific frequency that, when you repeat it correctly, starts to harmonize your inner energy and align your intentions with that obstacle-removing power of Ganesha.
And within the world of mantras, you have something called a bij, or a seed mantra. Now, this is the most potent form you can get. It's basically the deity's essential energy, all condensed into a single sound. So if a regular mantra is like a powerful floodlight, a bij mantra is like a laser beam, designed to cut straight through mental fog and confusion.
And this brings us to a really crucial point. The ancient sources are very clear that chanting correctly isn't just about being respectful, it's about whether it works. The vibrations are so precise that, with dedicated practice, they can create a real, tangible, energetic connection, making something that feels abstract feel very, very real.
All right, so let's see how all this theory comes together into a practical toolkit. We're going to look at a couple of specific mantras for some very real-world problems that you might be facing right now.
First up, the big one. This is for when you feel fundamentally stuck, like you're staring at a mountain you just can't climb. Or maybe when you're about to start a huge new project or a new business and you need to clear the way.
This is probably the most popular Ganesha mantra there is, the Vakratunda Mahakaya. Think of it as your all-purpose obstacle destroyer. The key phrase to listen for is Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva, which essentially means, make my path free from obstacles. It's an incredibly powerful declaration for clearing the way forward.
Okay, now for a very, very common modern obstacle, money. If you're dealing with debt, financial instability, or just that feeling of not enough, well, there's a specific frequency for that.
This one is called the Vighnaharta mantra. Rinam Chindi literally means cut through debts. And what's really fascinating is that this isn't just for financial debt. It's also understood to work on a karmic level. This is a highly specialized tool for untangling those really complex financial and energetic knots.
So, how often should you actually use these tools? Well, the traditional number for chanting a mantra is 108 repetitions. This is usually done with a mala, or prayer beads. It's not just for looks. It helps you stay focused and keeps count for you, which lets the mantra's energy build up consistently.
Okay, this brings us to the how-to. Because to really get results, you need to move from just casually saying the words to a disciplined practice. And honestly, it's a lot simpler than you might think. Here is a simple 15-minute ritual you can do every day. First, find a quiet spot. Now, the next step is absolutely crucial. Set a specific intention. What is the one obstacle you're working on? Then, do your 108 repetitions. And this is important. Don't just get up and walk away. Afterwards, just sit in silence for a couple of minutes and let that vibration sink in.
Now, here's a little pro tip on pronunciation. A lot of people end mantras with a hard ha sound, like Namaha, but the correct form, which is called a visarga in Sanskrit, is actually a soft, breathy echo of the vowel that came before it. So Nama is followed by a little, subtle sounding breath out. It's a small change, but it makes the vibration so much more precise.
And if you want to amplify your practice even more, you can actually use your body. This is called the Ganesha Mudra, a hand gesture you hold while you're chanting. By creating this tension as you inhale and then relaxing as you exhale, this physical action is said to unlock the heart chakra, building the exact courage and determination you need to face down any obstacle.
So where does all this energy actually work in our bodies? Well, the ancient texts connect Ganesha directly to the most foundational energy center in the entire human system.
Ganesha is said to reside in the Muladhara, which you might know as the root chakra, right at the base of the spine. Now, this chakra governs all of our most fundamental needs: survival, safety, stability, even wealth. So when you chant these mantras, what you're really doing is energetically strengthening the very foundation of your life. You're building a deep sense of security from the ground up.
Ultimately, this is a truly holistic practice. It's not just about removing one external block, because the benefits just ripple outwards. You're not only clearing a path forward for yourself, but you're also gaining mental clarity, relieving stress, and fostering this deeper sense of self-awareness along the way.
Which brings us to the final and most important question. We've gone through the theory, we've looked at the tools, and we've covered the technique. Now, it becomes personal. So, looking at your own life, your own goals, your own challenges, what is the very first obstacle that you will choose to clear?